There were hardly any NHL games this week. The whole East Division has COVID, and the West Division, well, that's no better.
Oh man, what are we supposed to talk about?
I heard about, what's his name? Wayne Simpsons? He got hurt?
Simmons. I think you mean Simmons. Okay, yeah, that's good. What else?
Yeah, there was a soccer offside thing too, or remember that?
Yeah. Get that hockey offside thing in there.
Yeah, remember that guy Max Domi? I think there's something about him.
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in some time, actually.
Exactly, okay, let's talk about that. Talk about how Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Kick rocks, Forsyth. Go back to the outhouse. If we need you, we'll call you.
Oh, it's press box chatter in 10 minutes or less. Oh, it's press box chatter with Rhyno and the Birdman.
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins did not listen to our advice from last week. They didn't even consider interviewing live Penguins for their vacant GM position. Instead, they went deep into the recycling bin for a new senior management team, hiring Ron Hextall as general manager and Brian Burke as president of hockey operations.
This is Hextall's fifth front office rodeo dating back to 2002, after multiple stints with both the Philadelphia Flyers and the Los Angeles Kings. While Burke is best known for his managerial work in Vancouver, Hartford, Anaheim, Toronto, Calgary, and the Old Testament. In other news, Wayne Simmonds is out for 6 weeks with a broken wrist, and Leafs management, well, they're actually not too happy with the news because Simmonds was helping the team bury the puck on the power play.
In addition, he brought toughness and grit to their lineup. Those are things that their all-star players don't have. And I'm talking about Babyface, Captain Boring,
No fun, only win,
and Pornstache.
Somebody order a 12-inch meatball sub?
I actually don't have any money.
Then why'd you order the f***ing sub?
Well, Patrick Laine's already run afoul of Coach John Tortorella in Columbus, and I'm assuming Mikko Koivu has as well, since he actually retired yesterday. But let's focus on Laine for now. The newly acquired superstar was benched for missing a defensive assignment in a 3-2 loss to Carolina on Monday.
Blue Jackets management has pledged to support Laine by equipping him with a compass, GPS, and detailed map of the defensive zone, which the skeptical sniper remains convinced is a mystical land of make-believe, like Narnia, Syracuse, or Kalamazoo. Alright, so a weird situation occurred in the Carolina and Columbus game on Sunday. With just about a minute and a half left in the second period, the Carolina Hurricanes scored a goal which was immediately challenged by John Tortorella for being offside. Now here's the catch. Although there was offside on the play, the refs actually made the mistake of calling it a goal after their review.
Apparently, there was a miscommunication between the NHL head offices in Toronto, a rookie video technician in Columbus, and the referee themselves.
Now, since the goal was counted, the Jackets were handed a 2-minute penalty for having their coach's challenge fail.
Now, during the intermission, the refs were told by the NHL that the call on the goal was actually wrong as it was clearly offside. This forced them to remove the penalty, but not the actual goal.
It's okay, I'm confused as well. Both teams mentioned how disappointing it was for the league to get a call so wrong. The NHL has borrowed from NFL terminology in relation to this play, but instead of calling it the tuck rule, accidentally disallowing a successful coach's review will be referred to as the what the f*** rule. We got the chance to talk to John Tavares about the Leafs' hot start and Jake Allen about the Montreal Canadiens' goaltending situation. Please note that the following interviews did not actually happen, and we're completely twisting every single word in each player's response. Enjoy.
Hey JT, Johnny. Yeah, your Leafs are off to a really hot start and everything seems to be clicking. Wayne Simmonds had a great start on your line, but now he's out for 6 weeks. How do you think that's going to affect your game?
We're doing a really good job of just, making sure that we're a strong team defensively and we're tough to play against, but we still want to be dynamic.
Have you guys considered calling up Gene Simmons, legendary artist from the band Kiss?
We're doing a really good job of just, making sure that we're a strong team defensively and we're tough to play against, but we still want to be dynamic.
Jake, hey, Jake Allen. Yeah, hey, so you've gotten off to a hot start this season, whereas your partner Carey Price has been slow out of the gates. Do you think there's any chance of you taking his spot as the Habs' #1 goalie?
Yeah, the goal for me obviously was coming into here this season is, to be best goalie in the world.
If you remember, last week we suggested how the Minnesota Wild and Anaheim Ducks could fix their power play units. This week, we're going to tell you how the New Jersey Devils and Nashville Predators should revamp their god-awful penalty kill units.
First off, they can stop clicking the R1 button on the PS4 remote.
Hey, that's a video game reference.
They can install real-life bubble hockey players into their ice surface to avoid any hitting, slashing, or yelling at the ref penalties. And finally, and hear me out on this one, they can stop taking penalties.
Max Domi is looking a whole lot like his father Ty Domi out there. I don't mean he's fist-fighting a fan in the penalty box. I mean, if Ty were in the league right now, he'd probably have more points than his son, who's only put up 5 points in his first 12 games as a Blue Jacket. Ryan, I have to ask, how can Columbus fix this situation?
They can bench Max Domi until he mutates into 08-09 Rick Nash. Or they can trade Domi for a top 6 forward. Look, I'm thinking a guy with maybe some size, maybe around 6'3", 226 pounds, perhaps from Burlington, Canada. A guy that can put up at least 20 goals in a season, maybe bat some pucks out of the air, got a good shot, can clean up the garbage in front of the net.
Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you just described Josh Anderson to the literal pound and birthplace.
This week we put up a poll on our Instagram page at PressBoxChatter and asked you to give us some topics to discuss.
Our first topic was from Josh Ricciardi. He wants us to talk about goalie gear setups. Personally, the coolest that I've seen this season was Carey Price's all-red look. But if I were Pricer, I would not wear those pads in the streets of South Central Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be hitting the streets of LA with the goalie pads anytime soon, but regardless, I'm not a huge fan of the red pads. Price has always played well in white pads. I do have to say this though, Markstrom's setup for the reverse retro jerseys was absolutely disgusting. I actually like to wipe down my TV set, my couch, and my remote controls after they showed that on TV.
Brendan Hebrard Yamamoto, who of course is the long-lost brother of Edmonton Oilers forward Kyler Yamamoto, wants to hear what we have to say about Carey Price's slow start. Well, I mean, Brandon, you heard Jake Allen's interview, man. There's a new number 1 goalie in town. And his name is still Carey Price, because the interview was just made up, so please don't GPS tag our cars and follow us to Bed Bath & Beyond, because we don't go there to buy Zen Mandala custom coloring canvas wall art for $51.99 or 2 for $10.
George Crowless wants to know if he should trade Leon Draisaitl for John Tavares and Christian Dvorak in his fantasy hockey league.
Look, Georgie, I say go all in. I traded Andrei Vasilevsky and Mark Stone, who are both having great seasons, to my buddy Logan for Igor Shesterkin and Steven Stamkos. But then I dropped Igor Shesterkin after 1 game and acquired Fleury in a trade. Then traded Stamkos and Fleury to reacquire Vasilevsky. So essentially, I gave away Mark Stone for free, and I'm still only 40 points behind Logan. Look, man, fantasy hockey is all about taking risks, so I say do it. It's not a good idea, but do it.
I don't think you should make this trade, George, but honestly, that's kind of irrelevant at this point. Take it from me, the guy who's wiping the floor with the Birdman right now. The fact that you even asked this question shows the lack of confidence you got in your team. That's something that's never going to get you a championship. Have some faith, brother. Believe in them. Or don't. And at least collude with someone like Sam's doing.
My sweet girlfriend Chelsea Lafontaine, who doesn't know the first thing about sports, wants us to talk about badminton.
Sam, does she even know what the podcast is about?
No, sir, not a bit.
Seb Tortosa wants us to talk about the Senators' sexy jerseys.
Okay, how do you want to approach this?
Well, I don't know. These jerseys are god-awful.
Yeah, man, I know. Okay, hold on. I think I got this. Seb, we think the Senators' jerseys are so dope.
Justin Schoif wants us to talk about how much of a hunk Sam is.
Well, Justin, I'll tell you this. When I first started my keto diet, but it was actually the second heart transplant that, and I still visit those raccoons to this day.
Thanks for tuning in to Pressbox Chatter. We really appreciate all the support. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Pressbox Chatter.
And on Twitter at PressBXChatter, because somebody already had Pressbox Chatter.
Alex, take us home, baby.
Oh, it's press box chatter in 10 minutes or less.